media platforms for the 2-hour CTD experience, which celebrates the achievements of Dominicans. Connecting the dots. Tune in this Saturday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. We will solidify the connections we share with Dominicans all over. Hop on board the CTD train and let's strengthen the ties that bind us. Connecting the dots. ASU Radio DBS.
Heavenly Father, creator of mankind and the universe, we thank Thee for the gift of life today and all the blessings You continue to bestow on Your children.
We seek Your presence and intervention throughout this program, and we ask that You keep us connected always.
We also pray for the success of the program, its coordinators and listeners, that they may find purpose and enjoy what we share.
Bless our radio station and the nation, and may we grow to love and unite with each other, irrespective of our differences.
All this we ask in Your name, now and forever. Amen.
That's where we begin. Late today, but we gotta let the vibes roll as we welcome you to another edition of Connecting the Dots on DBS Radio. Good morning, bonjour. It is a lovely Saturday. Yes, it's Saturday. It is the 9th day in the month of August. We welcome you to another rendezvous on DBS Radio. A lot is happening in DA today, this weekend in particular. But we'll connect. I think we are starting on YouTube though, so the Facebook followers will have to wait a little. Because we are continuing live coverage on social media of another event. So we're gonna make it work though. So welcome. I'm in the Third Daily Studio. Nigel is in the CTD studio. And we are ready. Bonjour Nigel. Kuma uye, kuma bagay kamache. You hear me, Nigel? Okay, something is coming through. But let's see. Let's make it work. Okay. Yes. Yes. You're there, Nigel?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear now. I think NCCU just officially ended the outside broadcast. Yeah.
Yes.
So how you doing, Nigel?
I am good, I'm good. Another blessed Saturday, man. I'm good.
Yeah, that's good.
It's good.
Yeah.
Good to be alive.
Good to be alive. And we're going through with the program today.
Yes.
Yeah, no hitches today. Right. We're going through. We don't have that much time to have our, long talk before.
No, we don't, but it's all good. It's all good.
Mm-hmm. There are times like that. Yes. It's a 2-part program today, so we have to make use of the time.
We have to keep it rolling. Yes.
But just quickly, Nigel, as I said, a lot is happening in Dominica this weekend. ASA has brought in boatloads and, a lot of people traveling by plane as well
Man.
for the breakfast fete. So you can just imagine.
Yes, yes,
They
yes. I can
brown
imagine you.
in
I can
the
imagine you from lighting parade last night, and now you're getting ready for the breakfast later tonight
yes,
or this morning or
it's a
tomorrow
brown
morning.
day. It's a brown day indeed today. I mean, when you traverse the streets of Roseau and you see these stalls, people, the vendors, selling on the outside, clothing and whatever, brown dominates. So, yeah, it should be
Wonderful,
it should be,
wonderful, wonderful. Happy to hear that.
And
Happy
in
to hear
Castle Bruce
that.
as well. So Castle Bruce as well you're starting the reunion tomorrow, officially tomorrow. So that is on as well.
Yeah.
In the Kalinago territory, there's the Mayok Festival. And of course, we spoke about Breakfast Fete, and there are other activities around. So a lot is happening.
A lot is happening. So people moving all over the place. It's a busy time. Lots of people, lots of activities, which is always beautiful. You know what I mean? I love to hear that. And hopefully we'll see some sights and sounds later on. But it's nice to know that everybody's connected and everybody's having the activity. Good friend Lauren Bannis Roberts and all the Castle Bruce people, good morning to you. I know you're going to have a great reunion. La Plaine was massive. I know Castle Bruce is going to be just as big. And all the other activities that, I want to mention. There's some sports going on as well. So, hey, lots to do in DA right now. So appreciate it. Enjoy it.
So, Nigel, quickly, today's Snapper Laura's birthday. So let's wish him a happy birthday. Happy birthday to you, Snapper. Strong greetings, Snapper.
Laura. Yes. Strong greetings, man.
Yeah.
Lots of birthdays.
Tomorrow is my daughter's birthday. And I think it's one of
your...
Whose birthday tomorrow? Is it Elise?
Tomorrow is Elise's birthday. Happy birthday, my dear. Love you lots as always. Appreciate you and happy birthday to you tomorrow. Tuesday was my daughter's birthday as well. So happy birthday again, Alicia.
Last week, Saturday was my mother's birthday.
You had a big one. Yes. Today is Elka's birthday as well. Elka Kulslatic. Happy birthday to you. Getting ready for Riverland Mass for Miami Carnival. Yesterday was Paben's birthday as well. So Emil, Paben, Sarah, good morning to you.
So that's,
Yesterday was Thursday was Alvin Thomas' birthday. Happy birthday to you, Alvin Tom. Listen, I was surrounded by birthdays this week. And of course, Jaden, my dear nephew, his birthday was also on Friday rather, August 1st. So listen. It's a lot of August borns, and of course your daughter's birthday is tomorrow as well, right?
Yes, tomorrow, the 10th.
She has the same birthday as Elise. Good people.
Okay, good people. And let me say, Robinson Banis is celebrating tomorrow as well. So big up, Robbo, my neighbor, my boy. Yeah, man, my people.
So it's happy birthday to all the birthday peoples from last week to this week and the week incoming.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Nigel. So
that's the birthdays.
We have no Dominica Corner today. We apologize for that.
No, we give them the birthday corner.
We're not laughing much today. We apologize for that.
We're just moving on.
We are just moving on. So we're going to bring on our guests, right?
Yes. So let's do that. Let's bring them on. Let's get some literary stuff going.
Yeah, right? Man. Of course, no.
Yes. Writers welcoming writers. It's always beautiful when that happens.
Yes. Okay, so we have on Celia Sorrendo and Sam George. Good morning.
Hi, morning all in the studio, and morning DBS listeners.
Okay, it's a pleasure to have you on. Hi, Sam.
Good morning. Yeah, good morning, Ivona. Good morning, Nigel.
Good morning.
And good morning to DBS listeners.
Yes. Good morning. It is a pleasure to have you on. We're going to talk about... Yes, we're going to talk about the upcoming event, but even before that, just give us an idea as to who you are. Celia, let's start with you. We'll start with the ladies first. Just give us a little background information so we can, make that connection with you.
Hi, I'm Celia Sorrendo, born in lovely Dominica. My dad was Martin Sorrendo, and my mum is Alex Sorrendo, me Stevenson. So... Yes, and I am a writer, a poet, and also was involved on the organizing committee on the Nature Island Literary Festival that we used to host that the late Dr. Alwyn Bully started. So happy to be here.
What part of Dominica are you from, Celia?
I'm actually speaking from Girardel at the moment, born in Goodwill, Roseau, but speaking from Girardel.
Okay.
All right, born in Goodwill, Roseau. Okay, they like to hear that. And now in the beautiful Flower Village.
Yeah, absolutely.
You must enjoy this, right? It's a writer's paradise as well.
Oh, I mean, that's if you want to write, that's the place to go, right?
Yeah, quiet, and you've got nature all around you. Very inspirational place to be. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Before you jump onto Sam, I wanna. So, Celia, were you always? Did you know from very early on that you wanted to be a writer?
No, it's very late in the day for me writing. I was actually a computer programmer. That was my main profession. But the writing really started after the literary festival, really. Got really inspired by all the writers who came. Derek Walcott came, writers from all over the Caribbean, and it was a real introduction to Caribbean literature. So that was how it started. So really here to say, no matter what age you are, please consider, taking up creative writing.
All right. So it really is a pleasure to have you on. Nigel, by the way, let us just big up our sponsors. And as we continue, before we bring in Sam George, we have sponsors for the program. You know Nigel, right? You know about the Plaisance Academy?
Yes, the Plaisance Academy.
Right.
Thank you to them for sponsoring this morning and for allowing us to make that connection. And of course, we'll be hearing much more about that academy later on. But we appreciate you for allowing us to have this program this morning.
Yes.
And if you're interested, there's going to be lots of information how you can join the program, how you can become part of the school that's going to be opening. Just stay connected and you'll hear lots about that in a little while from now.
Sam George, good morning. How are you doing?
I am doing well, Ivana. Thank you, and good morning to you again.
All right. Tell us about the writer in you. Tell us about Sam George.
Sam George is a simple guy, I'm from Grand Fort originally, raised up there. And
but naturally, I should know my people, man.
But you should know your people.
My bad.
I know.
My bad.
It's okay. It's okay. But yeah, certainly born, raised in Grand Fort. And the writing journey is, I would say since I was in primary school, I've, writing short stories and so on. I often say the only regret I have is I didn't save or preserve some of the things that I had written before. I could have published many books. But when you're young and you're just doing it just because you don't really have a goal. It wasn't really a goal to say that I wanted to be a published writer.
You enjoyed doing it and you just did it. I can identify with you, in terms of so much that have been lost, from early days.
Exactly.
But you still have a lot of work, right?
Yes, I have some work published, and I have. The thing is, I didn't really begin the published journey until Redemption Road. This is the radio drama series from TDN Radio, which I believe DBS.
Yes, in fact, I had a role to play in this as well.
Yes, as a matter of fact, you were on there. I thought it.
Nigel, I was one of the actors.
I know, me too. They put me on it once.
Yes, Nigel too. Exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
so
I completely forgot that you guys helped us with that.
What was my role? I can't even remember what my role was. But
it's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, I think you were probably a broadcaster. I don't remember.
I think I was a broadcaster. I was in an interview in that play. I think.
Yeah, I think you did an interview with.
With who was it? I can't recall.
One of the characters.
But I had a role. Yeah.
Anyway, you and Nigel, you guys played a role, and so. This was when, since the writing bug caught up with me again, and I haven't stopped writing since the first season of Redemption Road. It's been an awesome journey. It's been amazing. And since then, as a member of the Piton Noir Writing Collective, we've published free books in our anthology, The Flying Crapo, And we're actually working on the 4th book right now. And I've published my own solo novel called The Trust. So, and working on maybe 4 or 5 other books at the same time. So,
busy.
Yes.
Busy. Yes.
The topic we are here to discuss this morning, I think all of that falls and fits right in. And so,
yes.
What is it about? What is both for you and Celia? What is it about writing that once you begin, you almost feel like a different person?
I'll let Celia go first.
I wouldn't say that I feel like a different person, but I would say, especially after Hurricane Maria, that's when my first poetry book that I published was called Guavanse, which is a Taino goddess. And I wrote that after Hurricane Maria because there were so many complicated emotions that I felt. There was extreme good and there was the other side. And writing poetry, especially for me, it just helped me get my thoughts a bit clearer. So it was really cathartic. And that's one of the things I hope we can talk about today is, mental illness is a thing that is really prevalent at the moment. There's so many different stresses for people. And creative writing is so empowering, whether it's stories. They don't have to be true stories. They can be stories from your imagination. It's a really empowering act. So yeah, that's kind of what interested me in getting into poetry.
Okay, interesting. So we'll go on to the literary festival coming up soon, right? The Write-Tukubuli Virtual Literary Festival. But Nigel, just quickly, anyone on the book? We did not even say hello to our family.
Let's see if I looked. Are we on the book? Because I was.
Yes.
Oh, we are actually okay. But to my YouTube people that was on, thank you for joining as always. Alex Dura, good morning to you. Elizabeth Thomas, good morning. Asabel, Nettie, that is, good morning. She wants to say, hey, Nigel and Ivona. So good morning to those of you on the YouTube. And let's see on the Facebook, because I was, this morning I said I was going to look at YouTube, man. Okay, good. So we are on the, all right, let's see who's saying good morning. Winnie Green, of course, the writer herself. Now and then, dabbling in stuff. Good morning to you. Bonjour, I was Nigel. Blessed and happy Saturday to all. Randy Tierney, good morning to you. And let's see, forgot to say good morning to your guest. So Winnie says good morning to the guest as well. Wilbert Willis, good morning to you. So good morning to all of you who have joined onto the book. And we'll go through it in between as we have our both guests here. I was going to be talking a little bit of connecting some more, right, on the Write-Tukubuli. I like that kind of name.
I like it, yes. Write-Tukubuli. Yes. I love this.
Yes. Tell us about that name, though. I mean, what was the thinking behind it?
Mm-hmm.
It is, basically, what's the word? It's honoring Dominica's heritage, essentially. It's really just a play on Write-Tukubuli. But, so you remove the Write-Tukubuli and replace that with Write-Tukubuli. So that's exactly what it is. It's just a way to honor our heritage, honor our Kalinago brothers and sisters, so.
I like that. I like the thought process behind that, So tell us about it. When is it scheduled for? When is it going to be happening? Let's talk a little bit more about that.
Yes, what inspired, its creation? Why are you doing this now? What is happening? Let us know.
All right, Celia, you want to go first, or you want to let
Yeah. So basically, we're all involved in the literary scene, and we really wanted to do something. We've got so many amazing writers that I don't think get enough kind of promotion, publicity. Dominican writers, although we have a strong oral tradition, we've also got a really rich publishing tradition. If you think way back when Phyllis Shan Alfrey used to do the Star newspaper, I think you can go back in the archives and you can see short stories that were published by people like Lennox Honeychurch back then. And outside of Dominica, people really know us for Jean Rees. I mean, I know she's not so much of a big name here, but overseas, that name has quite a large following, and she was born in Dominica. And we've got people like Ralph Casimir, who used to write poetry, has published poetry. And I maintain a Facebook page for the Nature Island Literary Festival, even though we don't have the physical festival. And I have over an album, a photo album of book front covers, and there's over 600 books on there written by Dominicans and about Dominica. And so we wanted to do something whereby, just like the ethos of connecting the dots, let us connect all our writers from all over, published and unpublished writers. You know, what we say in the team, that this is a stage to showcase, not a gate. So it's not about gatekeeping. And we wanted to do something, an online, really, a virtual festival was the best way to cover all those things, including Dominicans from wherever they are in the world, and also using technology. And a physical festival is really limiting, and it's very expensive as well. So all those things kind of came together really to try and showcase our literary talent.
I love this. Nigel interested. I must sign up for this one, Nigel.
But you should be signing up.
Yeah, it's online. I have a lot of poems. I can see me on my stool and fixing myself on my stool, you know, and angling myself properly.
She has so many poems and stories that she's holding on to herself. And we're trying to get her to publish it. We're trying to get her to express it, you know, openly in public and so on. But she keeps holding on to them, Celia and Sam.
I've done some open mic, but...
Yeah. Well, Ivona, let me tell you right now, we offer a service to writers like you who have the work, haven't published it yet, don't know or not sure how to go about it. But we'll talk about that.
Yes, we'll talk about that after. I can share something with you after.
But certainly, we'd love for you to join the festival, because it is for those who are published and those who are unpublished, and it's also a way to encourage those who haven't published their work.
So Nigel, give me a push, okay? Give me that nudge that I so need.
Yes, I'm going to be nudging you along.
We can make something happen.
Yeah, we will send you the link so you can register and you can present one of your poems. Because one of the things we'll have as part of the festival is something we call Writers Showcase, where our authors they can either be interviewed or they can make their own presentation, basically record themselves either reading one of their works or something like that. Just something to showcase themselves, you know, a way to promote yourself. So whether you've published the work or not, it's okay, you know. So this is what the festival is about. It's about continuity and connecting and so on.
Interesting.
Connecting our authors and making sure that that Dominican authors are recognized. As Celia mentioned, Jean Reeves, it's not, you know, it's that one person, but we need to make Dominican writing be broadly accepted or recognized.
Yes,
you know,
I like this.
That's kind of the goal.
In fact, you essentially answered what I was going to ask, because I was going to, because the festival, of course, brings together Dominicans, Dominican writers residing here in Dominica and those residing overseas as well. And so I wanted to ask, what does this really mean? You know, this cross-border literary connection mean for Dominican storytelling? But you essentially answered this question.
Yeah, I'm sorry to trip you.
No, that's all right. That's okay. That's the beauty of it, man. Conversation.
Yeah, you know, I mean, our stories, you know, they don't end when we leave the shores of Dominica. In fact, I think that's when our stories really begin, or that's when they grow, or they evolve, if you will, because you have new themes to add to your story. Because if you lived in Dominica all your life, you basically would write only about Dominica and that
Yeah,
experience.
yeah.
But if you leave the shores of Dominica, then you can incorporate Dominica into your writing. And I mean, when people say it doesn't matter where they are, they will always love Dominica. To me, that is not. It's not just a saying. That's like some kind of spell Dominica has on Dominicans. I don't know for other islands and other countries. People travel and how they feel about their original homeland. I don't know, but I know for sure that Dominica can never get out of me, no matter where I live. I'm leaving. Uh, Wherever it is I am, that's just temporary. Dominica is always my home. And as you can tell, I still have my Dominican accent. I can't lose that because, this country has such an authenticity, and it being the nature isle is not
It's not just to say.
it just gets so deep in you that you just cannot let go of it. And so everything I write, even if the main story is not taking place in Dominica, I have to tie Dominica into it somehow.
Yes.
I just have to, because I have to promote the island.
Yeah, just to add on to what Sam says, there's also a lot of writers who use, they don't necessarily write from a place of biography. They write science fiction or speculative fiction as well. So it doesn't always, you can use your imagination in creative writing and take you to places that you imagine, and also our mythology. There's a lot of writers who write about our mythology, our sukuyas and things like that. And that's also important to keep that alive. And really, we have such diverse stories that's the important thing. There's no such thing as a Dominican story in the sense of a cliche, because we all have vastly different experiences. So that's what we really want to encourage, is the full spectrum of writing that we have. Yeah.
Nice.
Do you have
no? You heard,
go Nigel, go.
no. Oh, you heard Ivone and I mentioned earlier that we want to say thanks to Plaisance Academy for sponsoring this particular connecting the dots today. And the reason I'm mentioning them, of course, is because it's a new school that's going to be opening in Dominica pretty soon, and we'll hear lots about it in the next hour. But the reason I bring it up to say, thanks to Plaisance Academy for that, the reason I'm bringing it up is because in terms of, and we're still in the festival, but in terms of kids and writing in school, Sam mentioned he wrote a lot back then, but never really took it serious. Celia said she kind of got a late start into it. What are your guys' thoughts as it relates to early childhood and having kids begin to express themselves through writing very early?
Nigel, I am very happy you asked that question, because I think it is immensely important that we begin to encourage our students to take up writing, creative writing, at a very early age. And the thing about it is, you will see early on if a child is interested in creative writing. I don't know if they still do this, but I remember when in primary school, whenever we come back from summer holidays, we had to write a composition.
How I spent my holidays.
And stuff like that. I don't know if they still do that, but this is something we would love to see continue happening. As a matter of fact, my creative writing group, the Piton Noir, we have actually been trying to get the Ministry of Education to allow us to host a writing competition among schools in Dominica. It's been slow going, to be honest. We've not made a lot of progress in getting that together, but we still hope that we can do that, and not just writing, as you mentioned, it's not just writing about Dominica, but in fact, our group focuses on science fiction, fantasy, and folklore. So we combine all three of them, or we try to. And so we want to, widen the spectrum, the styles, the themes, and the genres that we write in, and our students write in. So we're hoping that someday we can see that be taken as a serious part of early education or early child education.
But Nigel, that's a
Yes.
very interesting question. I love this question. I'm
Yeah.
happy that you ask it because, I mean,
Yeah.
go ahead, Nigel. You want to say something? You
No,
want
no,
to
no,
add to
no,
what
no.
he
You
said?
go, you go.
No, I'm just happy that you asked that question, and because when you look at what's happening in Dominica now, and you also reflect back in the day what was happening when it was, we had a movement that was so vibrant back in the day. We had the Literacy Guild, we had the Dominica Writers Guild, we had so many other, avenues for exposure. So if we can start at the school level at a very young age, I think it's all the better for us. And I'm really happy that you answered that. You want to give your take on this as well, Celia? On what Nigel
I
asked?
was just going to say, I think that is so important. And there's a book of short stories, I think, that recently came out by Stories by Children. I think there's a group here who have published this book. And also, I don't know if it was the same for you back in the day when I was growing up. The way that things like poetry were taught was kind of it put people off a bit, I think, about writing, because it was all so serious, and like you had to like analyze the poems, and sometimes that put a lot of children kind of were put off. I think that's changed nowadays. We've got a lot more books where children can see their self reflected in the stories and in the poetry. And I like to say that children are born creative. Children are born as poets. When you hear children use language, the way they describe things, I think they're natural storytellers, they're natural poets. But somewhere along the line, if it becomes too serious, they kind of lose interest. So I really encourage if we can bring back the play. I say bring back the play in poetry and bring back the play in creative writing. Yeah.
Well, I'm very happy that Write-Tukubuli is continuing on that trajectory. You're doing a lot. So you have interactive elements like the spoken word contest, right? And you have the live streams, you have the social media challenges and all of this. So here's my question. How important, though, is digital engagement in building today's literacy community?
Yeah. I mean, as we're doing now, it's absolutely crucial. And the thing is as well, if you imagine back in the day, we would have to go to a library or something like that. And nowadays, there's so much information and help online. You can find free writing workshops, you can find resources, and you can find a global community for your work. People are writing on mediums such as Substack and things like that. So there's so much positive about the digital environment that can connect you to your readers from anywhere in the world. And Sam can talk more about that, because that's really his area, his forte.
Yeah, it just says that to reach the young people, I think, is probably one of the more important things about the digital aspect of this festival. Because the truth is, while those of us who are older may enjoy reading a physical book, I personally love holding a book in my hand.
Turning the pages, man.
Yeah, so, but at the same time, we can't forget about our young people. And they are on the digital platforms. They are on the social media networks. So if that's the way, we have to try to reach them. And so we are hoping that through the Write-Tukubuli literally virtual festival, we can reach some of our young people to, not be on the device, but
Mm-hmm.
also spend some time reading something. Because I get the feeling that a lot of young people don't read as much. They spend a lot of time playing video games or chatting and doing other things, but not a lot of time reading. And well, when I should say reading, I should say reading for fun. They will read their schoolwork. They will read for their class if they are in school. Oh, at least I hope so. But just reading for fun. Read a book just because you're interested in a creative story. So we hope that we can use this as a way to encourage our young people to,
Nice. Nice.
because, I mean, reading is still fundamental. Isn't that what we used to say?
Oh yes.
It is. It is. It is. And I don't know if you've noticed, as we with the young people, in terms of reading and language and expression and so on. What I find is that even writing, there's a lot of abbreviations. So
Yes.
so the language and sentence structure and components and everything seem to be kind of disappearing now because everything is shortened. So the way in which they would send a text is the same way in which they want to write. So that is something we also have to guard against as we continue to help them, in terms of the whole development language-wise.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I would say though, Nigel, that that's not necessarily a bad thing as long as they can realize there's a separation between the two, because nowadays writers from all over the Caribbean are being encouraged to write the way they speak. They're being encouraged to write in nation language that Kamal Brathwaite used to call it. And before we were used to be told off that this was called like bad English or whatever, but this is actually being recognized that is actually an important factor. And top class writers are winning awards for writing in nation language. But the important thing that, as you brought up, Nigel, is recognizing having both skills, recognizing the knowing about the proper grammar structure, etc., knowing that is very important too, and where that needs to be used in terms of writing news articles and that kind of thing, but also still developing that creativity where you can write in just exactly the way that you speak. And also on the digital front, audiobooks. Some people, we have to recognize as well, some people are not, reading is not their natural way of learning. Not everybody's natural way of getting information is reading it on the page. So we have to recognize there's a spectrum of different facilities that adults and children have, and audiobooks as well. If you take in information more by listening, you might prefer audiobooks to reading an actual book, and that's what the digital environment gives you as well. And you can hear audiobooks in the way that the characters speak, which is a really fantastic thing the digital age gives us too. So it's the full spectrum, I think. Yeah,
I mean, you can just imagine listening to Ivona reading her poems and having the audio, and you have the audiobook as you're driving and you're listening to her poems.
Okay, smiling,
voice-
and blushing. It's like it's real.
Her voice is key.
Yes.
Her voice is key.
I am
So that would
nudging
be
you. I
a
am
key
nudging
aspect.
you.
Yeah.
but
So, go ahead.
no, I was just about to say, I mean, Dominica has a rich oral tradition. And I think Celia, of course, you mentioned that earlier on. And when you look at the books, I mean, I always go to Jay's bookstore in particular, and there's a section for local publishers, local writers. And I'm like, wow, we have so much, so much material that we can call our own, our very own. And this is just... so back in the day, people, you mentioned Jean Rhys, Celia, you mentioned Jean Rhys. One book I really love, or one writer, I mean, I love all writers, all Dominican writers. But there's something about Alec Lazar's book, probably because it was the very first book all of them. But Native Laughter, for me, Native Laughter, when I got Native Laughter, I was at school. I was 15 years then. I was still at school, in fifth form. I was just about to leave school, and when I read Native Laughter, I was like, what? and then I got Facel from Ali Glaza as well. But we have so many other writers, a lot of writers, and we have to tap into this. We have to big them up.
Yes, we
like
have to
I
celebrate.
say, there's over 600 titles, written that we have. So there's you tend to just hear, like you say, the same names, and that's one of the reasons for doing this is let's showcase some of these other names that have been writing for such a long time. I just have to say, Albert Williams, commiserations, he just lost his
deep sympathy here.
Just
lost his wife.
Him. And people like Ian Jackson, these people, and Jenna Jacobs, these people have been writing for such a long time, and they have books, out there that we really need more people to.
Dr. Steinberg Henry as well has a few as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
His latest is Jolita. Yeah.
So how can we tell people about these books and how to get them? How can we improve the distribution of Dominican books to a wider audience? So all those things we hope Write-Tukubuli will be addressing through panel discussions and things like that.
So Sam, what kind of stories though or themes do you hope will emerge from this year's submissions and performances? What are you looking forward to really?
Well, we're hoping, for stories of, places, identity, of struggle, celebration. We want a full spectrum, personal narratives, speculative fiction, the whole list, I would say. Whatever you can think of, whatever your imagination can.
Nigel, I asked that question for myself.
Yes, but of course,
this way I can fit in.
Poetry, everything that involves the literary world, we want to see that emerge. By the end of this year's festival, which by the way takes place between September 15th to the 20th. So basically, you have a whole week to showcase yourself, a whole week to think about what kind of writing you want to do, and if you're going to publish the things you have hidden already. So we want to see people encouraged. I think that is the bottom line. We want to see writers encouraged, because I'll take myself as an example. One of the things I used to do is I would write an entire story and then go back over it and tear it up and throw it away because I used to think it's not good enough. And those were the days of pen and paper. I just, and I did that for a very long time until I talked to a friend who told me, stop editing yourself. Just write. Don't worry about editing. Don't worry about grammar, spelling, whatever. Just write and let someone else do the editing. And that will help you. And he was right. The person I am, I'm sort of a perfectionist. So nothing is good enough. It's never finished. And so I have to force myself. I'm actually doing better at it now. I can go back over it and leave it alone. But so that's kind of, those are some of the things we want to see come out of this festival. In addition to, letting people know that you can write whatever it is you want to write. Don't be restrained or constrained. Celia, you mentioned before when in writing, especially poetry, everything had to be formal. It had to be proper. But we have to realize that even Shakespeare wasn't formal and proper.
In his time,
In his time. We have to recognize that. And for me, for poetry, I like to say the only rule in poetry is there are no rules. It is your writing. You can write whatever you want. You don't have to punctuate. You don't even have to spell the word correctly.
Yeah. There's a lot of play.
You have so much
Definitely.
room to
Yeah.
do whatever you want,
That's
write
true.
whatever you feel.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
so those are the kinds of things we want people to realize and recognize and understand about themselves.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, it
Yeah,
almost
and
feels
move
like
on.
Ivona's going to write something when she leaves the studio today.
I hope so.
I could sense that she's
Nigel, let me tell you something. I have a lot
she's
of
in that
work, you know.
frame of mind right
I have
now.
a lot of work. I have a lot of work. And when our next guest come on, I hope he read some of the things I sent for him. But I have a lot of work, so I know I'm gonna hook up with George after and Celia.
Yes.
So we
I
can
can
make
feel,
something happen.
I can feel
Yes,
the connection happening in a right. But let me ask you both, Sam and Celia, as we're talking about young people, is there any plans to have in that festival? Whether there's going to be like a young people's corner or tell me.
Well, we're particularly trying to reach out to young people. So we've sent, the information out to like the Ministry of Education. We've sent it out to various groups. Like I mentioned, the children's books, the stories written by children. We're hoping they can submit something, So, and we have a showcase that's going to be a live showcase on the Saturday. That's going to be totally live. So we hope a segment of that will be where we can feature, particularly put the spotlight on some of our young writers. I also want to say that, sometimes we forget that Dominica is multilingual. So we really encourage writers who write in Kokoi, writers who are, looking to write in the Kalinago language, obviously Creole as well. So we encourage all of you. I have to say, even though the virtual festival is going to be running from September the 15th, we are asking all our writers to submit their videos by the 23rd of August. That is our deadline, so that we can schedule, those things like you say, the Children's Corner, we can see, okay, what did we get submitted by the younger generation? Let's put that together and schedule that. So we really want to stress that date, 23rd of August. Please send us in your videos of whatever you have created.
How do they do that? What's the contact? What's the contact? How do they get it over to you guys?
Sam?
Well, one of the ways is we have a Google form that you complete. I think the link is on the flyer. We'll try to get that to you, and I'll try to pull it up so I can mention it before we get off. And also, well, one of the easiest ways would be to send us an email. The email address is write-tukubuli2025@gmail.com. Again, write-tukubuli2025@gmail.com. So I think that would be the easiest way.
Right.
Just shoot us an email. Just say, hey, I'm interested in the virtual literary festival, and we will send you all of the information you need to sign on.
Just an aside, Sam George, I'm just looking at the Facebook page. Someone is asking, who are the parents of Mr. Sam George of Grand Fork? So someone wants to know. Inquiring minds wants to know, yeah.
Yes, that's the connection they like to make.
So connects to Court Moon. Okay, all right. So my parents are Eugene and Augustina George.
Okay.
Eugene and Augustina George from Grand Fork.
Which they are listening, by the way. So
yes,
good morning.
Yes, the Grand Fork people. Good morning to you.
Yes. Next thing they might ask you what part of Grand Fork, if it's on the hill or if it's by the school or. Obviously, I'm from the best part of Grand Fork.
Until somebody else from Grand Fork call and say no.
Top of the village, man.
Yes, I wanna ask Grand Fork connection.
If you have to tell you about my stories in Grand Fork, of course. Of course. I mean, I don't know if you were around when we used to go to Marak for water in Grand Fork, but that's another story. In fact,
of course, I wanna.
Yes. In fact, in a book I'm writing, Marak is mentioned. So, but you'll get the gist when we talk after. You'll get the gist.
In the Flying Crapo, I have a story that is takes place in Denier. Or Denier features in there. So I told you all, I always incorporate Dominica. So.
Yes. And so, Arlene George says good morning. She says you're my family. So
Okay.
I'll see, you know, that's what happens when you start the connection.
Yes,
Everything starts
yes.
connecting along the way, you know.
Yes, yes.
But let's look
So I
ahead
know
though.
you mentioned Peter Noir,
Peter
and you've
Noir.
also mentioned Write-Tukubuli
Yes.
and you know, and the Flying Crapo. How are all those connected?
Well, the Peter Noir Writing Collective is myself, of which I'm the chair, the current chair. Involves it's mostly Dominicans, but also people who have a connection to Dominica. So maybe they've spent time in Dominica, or they just love the island. And we focus on science fiction, fantasy, and folklore stories. And we have an anthology called The Flying Crapo. And The Flying Crapo is actually a tribute to our former national dish, right? And so it's a tongue-in-cheek way of remembering the crapo. And so we've published our third book last year, and right now we are in the process of working on the fourth book in the series. Also includes Nicole Georges, who is one of the ideas behind the Write-Tukubuli festival, one of the people behind that. So it all connects. So Nicole and I both we work together on quite a few projects. Going all the way back to Redemption Road. That too was her original idea, and when she sent it to me, and I read she had written the first script, I said, no, we can't. She actually wanted to do it as a one-off. And I felt, no, we needed to have more than one series to tell the story until we ended up with 5 seasons.
Wow.
Nice.
So I think the whole thing connects, especially with the fact that we are from Dominica, and you know, we want to encourage Dominican writers. You know, basically saying, see, this is us, you know, and we can do this, and we can put our island on the map as well, you know, for literary work as well as everything else we are known for.
There's the Write-Tukubuli writers as well. They're part of the group, and the Dominican Poetic Circle. So is again just to show that collaboration. We have all these, you know, literary groups, and we can come together and hopefully do something. So I also want to say it's not just writers, readers. We need you too. If you're not a writer but you've read a Dominican book that you've enjoyed, please, you can send in a review. You know, so this is not just about writers. If there's a book written by a Dominican writer, send us a video about the book and why you liked it.
So Native Laughter was written years ago by Ali Glazer. So I can still send a review on this?
Yes.
Please, absolutely.
Doesn't matter
absolutely.
And Facel.
Definitely.
Okay. Right.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because the whole point is to celebrate, encourage. There's so many writers that haven't had the recognition that I think they really deserve. So it's about celebration and inspiring and encouraging. So please do.
Yeah, okay. Nigel, I could stay on a discussion like this for how many hours? But we have two parts. We have 2 parts today.
Yes.
So we have to see.
We have to get ready for Plaisance Academy in a little bit. Yes.
But we need to have more of these discussions in writing.
We do,
literary work
especially
and all
writing. You know, I mean. We
can bring on Sam another time on his own, and then Celia on her own, and she will read some of her poems.
Yeah, she'll read some of her poems for us, and Sam will share some of his stories.
Yeah, and then we can have a poetry day, Nigel.
Ivona will read one of her poems, and
and Nigel.
Nigel, you have a lot of work, please. You have a lot of work, Nigel.
So you too. You keep
that's
saying
your territory.
Yes.
Nigel is a writer. Nigel is a writer.
Yes, exactly.
Very good writer.
I'm trying to nudge her. I'm trying to get her to present her work. You know.
So while you're encouraging her, encourage yourself.
Yes,
that might be encouragement for you.
I should push him as well. I should encourage him. So
I know after this program, Elise is going to come after me and say, "See, so right here, go back, do your writing, do your writing."
I agree with you, Elise. Yes.
Okay, Elise, I'm coming.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just, you know, being mentally preparing yourself. You know, the thing is, a lot of times I think what holds a lot of us back from publishing or making our work publish is that public, excuse me, is that we tend to worry that people may not like it, people may not even read it. So why am I even, doing this? Why am I even publishing it? And those are the questions you have to ask yourself when you begin to write. Why am I even writing? Do I want people to read it, or am I just basically doing a diary? It's just a private form, of putting your thoughts down. But you have to you have to fight the urge not to remain behind the scenes, so to speak, and just pull the trigger.
And there could be that one person who you're writing, even if it's that one person, the way you wrote and what you wrote about in exactly the way only you could do it. They're looking, that is the exact thing that they're looking for. They're looking for your words, and they can say, wow, this really resonates with me. You don't need, like a big, large following. If your words just connect to a few people, then you've made a difference in the world. So
exactly.
So here's what we can do. We can always make connection with you all again, and you can also provide us with a list of names as well, people we can bring on, and they can recite their poetry or give us a
one of the Connecting the Dots program is going to be.
I remember when we had Nigel Love Alone. What's his name? His full name?
Yes,
when he was reciting, right, and that was just wonderful. So we can do that, but we have another part, so we're not rushing you, but we have to end to go to another segment.
Yeah, we understand.
So Sam George, yes,
it ties in nicely because we Plaisance Academy that's going to tell us about the school that they're opening, and knowing them, Dr. Finn and look, I almost forgot her name. Maria, I think. Yes, knowing them, that I know that in this school that they're trying to get set up, which opens in September. I know one of the things they like is the local component. So I wouldn't be surprised if they'll be looking for one or two Dominican authors so that they can have it as part of their program as well. Because they have a creative writing that they're going to be teaching kids. Great. So I'm sure they'll be looking towards that. So it's a nice connection between the both of you and what's coming up next. So, we appreciate it. Festival comes up September 15th to the 20th, right?
Yes.
August 23rd. August
23rd
is the deadline to make your submission. You can do that through
Write-Tukubuli
2025 at gmail.com. You can submit your works there, and you can get in touch with Sam or get in touch with Celia or anybody else that's part of the committee, so we can celebrate our writers. All
right.
Appreciate the connection.
Take care. All the best to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Really
have a great rest of the day.
Okay,
all right. You as well. Thanks. So we're getting ready for part 2?
Oh yes, we're getting ready for part 2.
Okay.
Stick around. It's Connecting the Dots on DBS Radio. Part 1 just ended. Getting set now for part 2. Nigel, we're ready, right?
Yes, we're ready.
Okay, we're ready. Yes, so we're going to bring on our guests. Part 2 of the discussion. Nigel, I'm looking forward to this as well. It's a nice combination, Nigel. with the two guests.
Oh yes, it's a nice connection.
Yeah, it's like a segue into something. Yeah.
It's like flowing from one to the next. You know, a nice connection.
I like this. I like this.
Yes,
Okay, so
yes, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good as always. You know.
Everyone is present.
Travis Etienne, good morning to you, Travis. I know you're getting ready for Stranding on the Beach, which happens August 23rd in St. Martin. You know, we have to get him on the program. He's been doing lots of things. So we'll get him on at some point.
Yes, let me note this. Travis Etienne, you say?
Yes. We'll have him on. He's been doing lots of stuff and Fly in the Skies.
Okay.
While he's getting ready for Stranded at the Beach.
All right. So we're ready, Nigel?
Edition. Yes, we are ready.
I'm seeing a pretty lady on already, so...
Yes. That's Marcia. Is it Marcia? Yeah, I think it is. Yes.
Marcia, Chrissy. Yes.
Marcia, well, they know that's Prissy, but Marcia.
Yes.
Sensitive, Finn. And of course, we'll be joined by Emmanuel Finn himself in a little bit. Yes, good morning to you, Janet Dow. I keep forgetting. Janet tells me I know she listens every Saturday. So good morning to you, Janet. Thanks for connecting. We appreciate it, Janet Dow. Appreciate you connecting with us.
All our listeners, all our family, every one of you are on. Nigel talking about everyone. I met
in Panama. This is in Panama.
You serious now, Mama?
I think she's part of some sporting thing or something that's going on.
Well, that's good.
Of course, we have the Pan Am Games that's coming on. Dominica being represented there. You know, so
yes.
Good morning to them.
Yes, that's good.
It's over there in Panama.
Okay, so I see our guests. They are on.
They're on and ready to go.
Nigel, I'm going to give you the honors to welcome them.
You want me to welcome
Yes.
Dr. Emmanuel Finn? You want me to welcome Marcia Prissy, Centilla Finn? See all the names I'm here.
Yes, Marcia.
But yes, good morning. It's a pleasure to have you guys on. Thanks for connecting with us. Thanks for making it possible. We appreciate your little sponsorship this morning on making this happen and the connection that's happening.
Yes.
We're going to find out about Plaisance Academy, and I hope I'm saying it correct.
Plaisance.
And then you'll tell us about the Plaisance. So you'll tell me exactly what it is, because I know it's a place in La Plaine. So
okay, you're on the right track. You're on the right
and
track.
Everything.
Yes. Nigel, I tell you, I had a long conversation yesterday with Emmanuel Finn. And we spoke at length, but it was very enlightening, Nigel. I felt like we were friends from the past, and we were not even friends from the past, but we have a connection. We have a Bath Road connection. Yes, we have a connection, and so I learned so many things, and we were just reminiscing about the good old days, back in the day. We have an age difference, yes, but it's like, we have a bond, and that's good. So welcome, Dr. Finn, and your lovely wife.
Hi, Ebola. Can you hear me, Nigel?
Yes,
I can hear you. I can hear you very well. I can hear you. I can see you.
Yes.
All right, well,
yes. Marcia is on mute though, so I won't hear her yet.
Yes, that's me. Thank you
right,
for
Marcia.
having us. Yes.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are we doing this morning?
Awesome, beautiful, just right temperature day.
You hear that voice, Nigel?
For a morning walk, it's awesome.
Nigel, when I hear that voice, I hear the voice of Maureen Blackmore. I also hear the voice of Annette Centilla.
Well, I mean, it's
wow,
the
of course.
They can't escape it. They can't escape it. It runs in the family.
Yes,
you said it's a nice, pleasurable day for you, beautiful weather. Right now, it's raining where I am right now. I don't know what happening in here, but serious rain. But it's all good.
It's all good. It's really a pleasure to have you all on. And let's just tell our listeners, Marcia, or Chrissy to many, is the daughter of a woman who helped blaze the trail for not just women in business and politics, but Annette Centilla was the first female mayor in Dominica. She was one of the pioneers in the boutique business, I could call it this. And so Chrissy Centilla, it's really a pleasure to have Centilla Finn. It's really a pleasure to have you on. So I just remember, Annette Centilla and all what she has done, and of course in her younger days, she's not a spring chicken again like before, but yeah, I just had to bring this in. Yeah. So let's get on with the program.
Let's get on. But before we get on, for those who don't know, we always like to make that earlier connection in terms of, like what part of Dominica you're from, and, a little bit of the growing up in Dominica. And then, of course, we'll talk about the school and everything else.
Yeah.
So let's start with the ladies. I want to like to start with the ladies first. So I will continue her trend. So tell us a little bit about Marcia, Chrissy, Santalafin. Where are you from? What part of Dominica are you from? And what was it like, you know?
Sure, sure. Yeah, so I'm from Citronia, Newtown, Dominica. Grew up there pretty much for, I guess, until I was 18 years old. Well, I was in Newtown until I was about 6, 7, and then we went to live in Kings Hill. So that's where we reside now, at my mom's house at Kings Hill, Lower Kings Hill, just a little above the Savannah, close to the Baptist Church.
Yes.
So pretty much that's where I spent 18 years of my life. Yeah, and most people know me as Chrissy, and Marcia is my baptismal name. And once I entered high school, that's when Marcia came into the picture until I migrated to the US, and Chrissy just disappeared. So it's interesting that I know who knows me from Dominica and who knows me from the US. When people say Chrissy, I know that's a childhood friend. When someone says Marcia, I'm like, okay, that person is an acquaintance I just met in the US. So.
I wish I had that. It's a good this thing. You can know immediately who's home people and who is new people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
What was it like, though, man, Chrissy, in terms of Dominica? I mean, especially early childhood. And I'm using that because that's what we're going to be talking about in a little bit. What was it like, your early childhood in school in Dominica?
Yes, so I went to the Newtown Boys School, that ruined building that's just adjacent to the Savannah, the Newtown Savannah. That's where it all started, because we lived Kingsley. It was an easy walk. So my early childhood days started at the Newtown Boys School. It's called the Newtown Boys School because it was a combination of boys and girls. And then I went to St. Martin's School. So I went to St. Martin's School, did the common entrance, and then went to the convent high school, and then graduated from the convent high school. But it's interesting, growing up, there were many people in our household. My mom always loved having a big family around her. And just a childhood, just imagination. I always said, you know what? When I grow up, I want to be a nurse, and I want to have an early childhood program. I'm not sure where that stemmed from, but that I remember I had that vision. That's what I wanted to do growing up. And today, fast forward today, I've done both. So I said, what you put into the universe is usually what comes back to you. It is what's meant for you. Usually leads you in that direction.
Nigel, I'm kind of distracted.
Do you remember when you were in school, Newtown School, like singing those little songs?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, the sing one,
Yes.
Nigel. But we are talking there, Nigel. I'm kind of distracted because I'm still trying to decipher something she said. She said she went to the boys' school, right, in Newtown? A combination of boys and girls. So here my brain is working. Why did they name it boys' school when it's a combination of boys and girls? Why not mixed school? But anyway, that's for another discussion.
That's a good one. That's a good one, Aiugust. Yes.
But
you remember...
No. So I was just saying, you remember all the little songs you used to be singing then, and the nursery rhymes and all that. And that kind of inspired what's happening now, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So that was a STEM. I always had a love for learning and just making sure that children and growing up, that you had a well-rounded environment to help, in spite of what else is going on, that you always had that early space for you to learn and to grow and to do it organically, not, forced upon, but just learning from what's in your environment. I think that is what really has propelled me today to bring that to today's children. Yeah.
Wonderful. Emmanuel, brother, your turn. Your connection, your story. What part of Dominica are you from? What was it like?
Well, I will defer to Ivona to tell you where I'm from. Because Ivona has a serious connection with the East, right?
Oh,
Ivona?
yes,
she does.
You can take it away, and I'll try it in.
Well, I'll give you the honors. Go ahead. You'll put it better than me.
Obviously, Nigel, I'm from the East, if I can say that. I'm from the provincial capital of the southeastern Ovar region, La Plaine, right? I mean, and that's undisputed, by the way. If you didn't know, you know that after this very successful La Plaine Vacation Reunion last week, La Plaine is the undisputed provincial capital of the East. So I grew up in La Plaine, and probably so I might add. And so I'm Jean La Plaine, if you may. And so I went to La Plaine School, and I grew up in Plaisance section of La Plaine, and we'll get to that in a minute. which is just a hamlet of La Plaine, an enclave of La Plaine. And I came to town probably around 11 and a half years old, attended the grammar school. Then I left for the US. And I think Ivonia will piggyback on my days in grammar school on Bath Road, where we had that serious connection.
You don't have to say grammar school too much.
Oh, please, Nigel. Come on, Nigel. It'll come up again. It's all right. It's all right.
Well, Nigel, in grammar school, I was the editor of the Genius magazine, The Clarion. I was also
continue for grammar school. Continue.
Yes. You don't need a grammar
I
school.
will monitor all the SMS students.
Mensana Incorporation.
Yes, indeed. You know, I do have a picture of grammar school of the whole picture of the old building on my wall upstairs, where Marcia is, where Chrissy is. I'm downstairs in the basement, and so and then I left, and so yes, it was a school for human eyes. It is a school for human eyes, and obviously, my years in grammar school were very, very telling, and we can piggyback on the whole educational thing and Plaisance Academy. And then I'll be remiss if I didn't say the reason why I went to grammar school is because Mrs. Roberts, may her soul rest in peace, she came to La Plaine in the 70s and she realized that we have so much talent in La Plaine, but it wasn't harnessed because, again, we can get into the fact that the rural schools were neglected at that time. And plus, you know, the roads only came to La Plaine in 66, 67. But she really held us together. She taught us to read, write, and to speak properly. As a matter of fact, I have an article which I'll send to Ivona. Ivona, I did get your email.
Did you at least read the first paragraph or the first line?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then obviously, so education is really what got me here in the US. And we can get into how I met Marcia Christie, but you know that's probably another program. So
that's the connection.
That's the connection. We might be saying,
because you know, you might be saying, "But he just in the basement and Chrissy upstairs. What's going on?" You know. So,
so he's in his office, I guess, in the basement.
No. My office is in the basement, and we tried, but the computers were interacting with each other. And
I know. I'm saying that to say, you know, them, in case they haven't joined the connection yet, you know.
Yeah. Husband and wife.
In terms of, you know, husband and wife.
Yeah.
Might be saying, but what is Emmanuel doing in the basement and Chrissy upstairs?
Husband and wife, and we had Sari and Alana on as guests already.
Yes, Sari and
daughters. Right.
That's the whole program.
As a matter of fact, they did say hello to you. Sari graduated last year from Northeastern with a degree in engineering and entrepreneurship, and Alana is just returning to Atlanta. She was in Cincinnati all summer long at an internship at Procter & Gamble to do her last year at Emory. And I know Emory's been in the news, as you know, from a sharp suja yesterday, but this is America, right? And so they do send their regards to you guys.
So what's the connection? Did you guys meet at an educational institution? Because education seems to be the thread that's running between the both of you.
Okay, so interesting. So no, we didn't meet in Newtown. We didn't meet on Katy Avenue. We didn't meet in Pocassi. We certainly didn't meet in La Plaine, right? Where we met, after I graduated from dental school, because I'm a dentist, I went to work up in the Hudson Valley, which is about 70 miles up the Hudson River from New York City. And one of my friends in New York said to me, you know, there's a girl living up the river. You don't have to come down to the Bronx if you want action. You know, there's somebody up the river. so he said, okay, I'll get a number for you. She lived in one of the small towns, and she lived with her brother Dion at that time, you know. And well, he didn't get it. The chap from La Plaine, you know, they promised and never deliver, right? So I went down that year for my friend's wedding, Dr. Monty Douglas. And that's where I met her. And then we found out that we lived about 40 miles from each other. You know, I lived in Poughkeepsie and she lived in Middletown. Just the highway 84 separated us. So when I came back, you know, we met, and I suppose we did meet, didn't we? 25 years later, right?
There you go. There you go. That's
yeah.
Right. Okay. Yes. People unconnecting, you know, they like to know people's story. That's their problem.
Yeah. So if you may, Nigel, and I know it was an east-west connection, the east of Lapland and the west, if you may.
Okay, interesting. He's a writer as well,
Or
so
if
you
you
can
may,
just sense that.
or if you may, was a country tongue connection, if you may.
A country town connection. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yes, you made that connection and you've kept the connection. Wonderful, wonderful. You know.
Yes, indeed.
Yes,
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 indeed.
yes. It's always nice when we can do that. So I mean, and we're talking about that too because I mean, although I was just kind of joking around in terms of education being the thread, but at the same time, education seems to have been what is keeping it going as well because although I mean, you're not in a sense formally in the education space, Emmanuel. At the same time, you are because of what you're doing. When I asked Chrissy earlier about early childhood, same for you in terms of early childhood. What was it like for the early childhood part whilst you were in the lab playing school? And the reason I'm bringing that up too is because when we talk about Plaisance, we'll find out a little bit more about that. But since your early childhood lab playing education, what was it like?
Okay, so good. So my first school, infant school, as we say at home, or kindergarten, was in Plaisance, right? And those of you who don't know Plaisance, it borders the Laron River, and to the north is Cordo. And Cordo, we had like the wife of the late President Senior, his wife was in Cordo, and to the east is the Atlantic Ocean. So it's just in the valley in Lapland, if you may. A nice little place I grew up. And so this lady, she passed away some 10, 15 years ago, Mrs. Eleanor Bartow. May her soul rest in peace. She had a one-room school right there in Plaisance. And she had about 10 kids. So if you may, this was the first Lapland Plaisance Academy, you know? And then from there, I went to Lapland School. And Lapland School was really a place where you learn who you are. And again, when Mrs. Roberts came to Lapland School, she said, wait a minute, there's such an abundance of talent here. She needs to harness it. But keep in mind, at that time, there were no roads. There were roads. The roads had just arrived, a few years before. But we were not on the electric grid. There was no electricity in Lapland. There were no running water, pipe-on water. So it was really just a village in the mountains, if you may. And, at that time, the roads were not good. It would take you an hour and a half to get into town. So pretty much, and given the structure of Dominica, if you're in the rural areas, you're pretty much neglected. It's through Premier League that start cutting roads into the interior. And so all the resources really stayed in town, And the folks from the rural areas, from Bitation, were left to fend for themselves. At 15, you finish school, and you went to work in the fields, right? Well, obviously, Mrs. Roberts changed that. And really, when she came in the first year, she got about 10 entrances into high school. And we began to understand that high school is about, school is about sustainability. It's not where you come from, really, it's where you're going. And I preach this all the time, And so for me, when Chrissy decided that she was going to start a school, I embraced it. And honestly, we started in our basement, and Chrissy can talk to you more about this, where when Sari was a year too old, we were looking for quality daycare. And Chrissy being a nurse, she worked in the night shift, and she took care of Sari during the day. And she said, wait, I can do this. And then we had 1 or 2 kids, 1 or 3 kids, and today it's really a full-fledged business. And then, Nigel, home is always home. We can always go back home again, no matter what. That's our home. And if you know, even today, I think everybody's reminding us that home is in Dominica, right? Every time you turn the TV or your computer, you're reminded, no matter what's going on, my home is in the Lapland Valley. Will always be in the Lapland Valley, no matter what. Now, the definition of home is relative. Home is where you make money, home is where you have a big house, whatever. So that Plaisance Academy, and Chrissy loves the name, and I said, well, we need to go forth with a Plaisance Academy and move forward with this.
Yes. So Chrissy, I mean, how did it all start for you? I mean, we just said a little bit about in terms of being in taking care of Sari and them and so on, and sort of the genesis of it. But give us a little more about that. How did you get involved in this early childhood education thing?
Yeah, thank you for that. That's interesting, And when I reflect back on the journey, like Emmanuel said, we started in the basement of our home. I'm a nurse by training. And when I was returning to work after a year, I'm like, wait a minute. I went looking at other programs. I just didn't like what I see. What I saw, I was like, no, I got to change that. And I always love Mahatma Gandhi say, be the change you want to be. And I was like, I can do this. So after I visited several, early childhood space, aka daycares, I'm like, Emmanuel, our child is not going to this. He's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? I said, watch. I'm going to start a daycare in our basement. Emmanuel's like, interesting. How are you going to do that? So I went back to school. My degree is in nursing. I went back to school to get a certificate in early childhood leadership and directorship. And then we started with Sari and 4 other neighborhood children. And once I started, my premise was, if I'm going to replace my income as a nurse, I got to run this as a business. So we started with like a corporate offering, a curriculum, enrichment programs, library field trips. And that was just children that were infants, 3 months, all the way to the kids we had with 3 months to 1.5, 2 years old. And we ran it like an academy out of our basement with 5 kids, including ours. And then I cooked home, nutritious. We took a lot of natural organic food. So I sold the program as that, and parents loved it. They loved the idea that I'm a nurse, I'm preparing nutritious meals. It's well-rounded, right? So before we knew it, we had a wait list. And I was like, whoa, this is serious. I wasn't sure this was going to go anywhere. So we bought another property and we had another home daycare. And here we are today with 4 schools and over 200 students and 60.
So I don't remember, but so whilst you were doing that with the kids, was Emmanuel providing dental services? Huh?
He did screenings, and actually he was the genesis right now for the district. We live in the District of Columbia. He was the dental manager for the District of Columbia, and he said, "Oh, you need to do teeth brushing at the daycare." I'm like, Jesus! So we brush the children's teeth before they go take a nap, and then he started there for the whole district, and I think now it's becoming nationwide. We have children from early childhood, from early as 6 months, should have a dental screening. So that's a standard now. For the children to be part of the program, they need a dental screen. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. What was the school? What was the school called at the time? When you was there a name for it?
Yes, so it's Bright Start.
Or was it just Chris's basement? Or
No, it was Bright Start, and Bright Start came about because at home we're really into education. Emmanuel is an educator. I'll give that to him. He still is. Every moment is a teachable moment, right? So one of the books we always read was called Bright Start. And I just love the concept of having children use their inquiring mind, their inquisitiveness to do things. And it's funny, I was just recanting with Alana, one of our daughters, and she's like, we never had toys. You always gave us things that were in the house, and the pots and pans, and and we went and collect sticks and pine cones. She's like, we didn't have toys. I said, well, she said, I felt deprived when she talked to her friends. They're like, you don't know TV shows? She said, we didn't have TV. The TV was very inconvenient. It was in the attic. Nobody wanted to go there. So we were very prone to education, right? Because we figured if you educate a child, no matter what situations they encounter, no one can take that from them. They can think, they can use their brains to get out of a situation rather than relying on others to always give them solution. So that's what we've been doing as part of our program, helping children to come up with their solutions, to have conflict resolutions, get into their emotions. That makes them better citizens. And I can say it's a proven process for us. We're very proud to say we have touched and impacted the lives of almost over 1,000 children. And the first graduating class was of 2025. Sari was part of that first graduating class, 2024. We're in 24. And we can see what we instilled in not just our children, but the children who came to our program, how we've allowed them to be leaders, right? The 5 children who started with us graduated at the top of their classrooms in college, being influencers, being leaders, driving the next generation of running the world.
But how did you manage that overlap though between these two jobs? Because when you start, you have your degree in nursing, and then you decided
Yes.
to do this. How did you let these two jobs work for you?
Yeah, interesting. Well, thank God, Emmanuel, give it up to him. He was a hands-on dad mom. He was like, "We're gonna do this." I worked on the weekend, Friday, Saturday night, sometimes Sunday, and Monday to Friday I would run the program, and I had a helper. I had an assistant who helped me. While I took a nap, she would be with the children, and then I would wake up at the peak time, like by 10 o'clock. I slept for about 2, 3 hours at a time. And on the weekend, when I worked night shift, Emmanuel was the super dad, really. He still is. So I couldn't have done it without him. I think having that support really allowed me to marry the both things and do both of them successfully.
How did you buy into that vision, though, Emmanuel? How did you? Because I mean, Chrissy has this crazy idea and says, "No, we're not sending our children to that daycare. We're going to do our own thing." How did you buy? What made you decide that this actually can work?
Well, Nigel, I don't know how long you've been married, but women won the world.
It's been a while. It's been a while. It's been a while. It's been a while.
We've been married.
Women
won the world.
yes, I'll be celebrating 30 years.
Ask the partner.
Even if I look 30.
Women won the world, partner. So I got news for you,
And
right?
you're trying to get it for them. Yeah.
Well, I think not to overdo it or over preach it, but I think it's a partnership and it's a vision. And for us, once the kids came in, when they arrived, that was it. And you have to be committed. And by the way, if I can say, both of the kids have Lapland names, huh? So, anyways.
Oh yes.
So, and thanks to Chrissy. So it's a compromise, I suppose, right? No, I bought into the idea that we had a relationship, and then if we had to do it, it had to be us. Life in America is not easy. It's certainly you really to get ahead, you really have to be serious. Nigel, you know that all too well. In the end, if you work hard, obviously you get rewarded, but you really have to hold it together. And that's what you really have to hold it together to get ahead. And that's probably nobody's going to give you anything. I mean, that's for sure. Nobody's going to give you anything. And so you really have to hold it together. You have to, and if you have a family really captures it all. And sometimes families are very difficult to get it together. We all know that, but family captures it all, And so that was me. I was happy to be with the girls. We went to soccer games early, and obviously, as you know, I think last year Sari was the vice captain of the Dominica senior team. They played youth. It was just so fun being with the family, being with the girls. It was another phase of my life, I couldn't tell you the name of a club in DC because I had my own club at my home. So it really wasn't hard at all. We just went along. It wasn't hard.
But both of you, were you able to draw on your early childhood in Dominica and your education in Dominica? Did you draw or use that as a sort of a basis for when you started the school? I'm Chrissy.
Yes, absolutely. And I said that we didn't have all this fancy electronic, all these man-made things growing up. And it's like, look how we turned up. So one of the things we tried to incorporate into the program is to making something out of nothing. We use a lot of natural resources. We recycle. We use, like, when the paper towel is done, we would collect all those rolls from the paper towel, the bathroom tissue, the empty cans, the pine cones, and we would make these, spray paint them, and make that become what the kids learned from. You would do deep dive. Tell me, what does that look like? Rather, we were really not totally opposed, but we were really try to limit the exposure of technology and all these man-made gadgets, because we felt that it was limiting the children's inquisitiveness to create their own. We had it, but it was used very sparingly, right? So, like I said, and we think it paid off. And if today, when our kids recant their early childhood, just like, you know what? I feel like we didn't have all these fancy things, but we turned out very well. We turned out much better than our peers who tell them, and they only realize they didn't have all this fancy thing when the peers are talking about things. And it's like, where did you grow up? This is America. You don't know about Rugrats. You don't know about all these TV shows. And they're like, oh, we don't watch TV. Emmanuel used those opportunities to go to the park. The kids know, and And there is something to what you do in your child's early childhood years, because today, the kids, anywhere they go, they will be in a park or museum. Is the first thing they will seek out before they want to go to a movie or watch some fabulous show. So it's really, children live what they learn, right? And they learn what they live. We had loved the Desirata. That was a staple in their bedrooms. So we're like, yes, this is how we want our kids to be growing up in their early years and being adults. And we saw this, that it worked. And we're like, wow, our kids are modeled for this. So why can't we do it to other children and other families?
Go placidly and make the noise and haste.
I have in Washington D.C. there's a plethora of museums, and Saturday mornings after the soccer games, after the football games, you'll find me in the museum. It's free. We probably hit about 90% of the museums in D.C. And so, whenever we went to another city, the first thing we would map out is where is the museum. And I don't know what this came from. That came from a curiosity of learning. As I said, coming from the mountains, coming from the east, and if you make it into town at that time, learning was just so satisfying. The fact that you read and all our homes. Even last week, Alana said to me she was with a group of friends in Cincinnati where she's spending the summer, and they're talking about TV shows, and it's like, I don't know what you're talking about. The TV was there. We looked at news and we shut it off, and so we had the kids think, and this is the model that we're trying to bring back into Plaisance Academy, into Dominica. And I think we can talk about this for a while, Ivona. And Ivona, you probably had your own stories growing up in gardens right there, right?
Oh yes, a lot. A lot. And Jack's Walk and every Mon Bruce and everywhere that Baffy State on the power, I could go on and on, but it's your story to tell. Because if I start, I will not stop. So I'm being
So for us, how I think I think the question though, Nigel, you might be wondering, and your listeners and your viewers is why Plaisance Academy and why now, right? Of course, there is a cost to it, there's a business aspect to it, and that's critical. But we just felt that now is probably time to give back. Our early childhood education, as Chrissy said, is so critical. We got so much from Dominica. I know I got so much. Your foundation, you build in a house, the foundation is weak, forget it. I don't care how beautiful the top is, And so we felt that now is the time we can give back to Dominica. Yeah, there's some risk involved. I think Ivona will tell you, you will tell me, everybody else will tell me why now. We know about the economy in Dominica. This is no joke, right? But we feel like education is sustainability. Education is when you give somebody an education, and I'm a prime example. Chris is a prime example. You're a prime example. Ivona is a prime example. When you educate somebody, this is. It might take a long time before you pay back in monetary, but this is so critical. And if you educate them in the right way, I last week I met a young lady who is at Howard University, and I asked her what she wants to do, and she said, I want to be a cardiac thoracic surgeon. I'm like, whoa, where you got this from? And she told me about the school she went to in Dominica. I wouldn't name the school, and that school is about 25 years old, and I remember that school. And I thought she was going to tell me convent or, grammar school or something. So I think as we look as our next leaders, because you and I know we are going, huh? Chrissy, where we going, right?
We're leaving for them.
Yeah, no, we're
holding on still.
Yeah. we have some time still, Nigel, probably. Well, we never know, but yeah, it's go, we go.
Well, here's Nigel. If you pass 50, chances are you're not going to live another 50 years again, right? That is fact, right? And
it's a fact.
Is out, right? So, what's going to become of our Dominica, really? I mean, I think we have to ask ourselves that serious question. Of course, things have changed. We can't change back the hands of time. Dominica can't be the same Dominica that was in 1975. We get it with technology, with all the dynamics. But this is our home, right? And you can always go back home again, Yeah, we have differences, we have skirmishes here and there, but this is home. Home for us right now is Washington, D.C., and I suppose the definition of home is relative, right? But my home is in the foothills of the Lapland Mountains, That's where my home is. My home is in Port City. My home is in maybe the Newton Savannah, I don't know, you know. There you go, you know.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I can see why, you know, in a sense that you feel like, you know, now's an opportune time to give back. It's also a time, in a way, Christy, to bring the experience that you've had with Bright Star, and to bring it, you know, not to bring it, but to share it, you know, with Dominica. What is the program like? What is it that you feel Plaisance Academy is going to bring to the kids in Dominica?
Yeah, so I go home a lot. And then the last couple of years, I've been more than usual, usually one, twice. The last 2 years, I've been in Dominica pretty much 4, 5, 6 times a year. And then I visit a lot of the early childhood and preschool programs. And I was like, wow, this is not setting the kids up for success. And we have to see, and I look at Dominica, I said, Dominica is really blessed because we have nothing and we end up doing a lot. And I was like, if we harness the nothing we have and see that nothing can be something from a very early stage, my God, we will more thoracic surgeon, more engineers, more people thinking, having these big, audacious, wild dreams because they had that foundation, saying that even though our resources are limited, I can do this. This is how I do this. You know, I talked to a few people and they're like, I don't know what I want to do. And I was like, okay, well, if you don't know what you want to do, anything that comes, you're going to take it. You need to have focus. And I think having children from an early age, having them focus, start telling kids what do you want to do? Oh, I want to be a fireman. Oh, do you know? Talk about a fireman. What does a fireman do? So now you're giving the child clarity. I think giving clarity in what our thoughts are will help kids focus. And when you focus, when you say you laser focus, you move the needle inch by inch to yards and thousands of yards. And this is what we want to bring to Plaisance Academy. Our tagline is learning with a difference. Here in the US, we use something called creative curriculum, and basically it's children's creativity. I'll give you an example. We have a study called trees, and I was like, that is perfect for Dominica. We got trees everywhere. And you'll be like, but what can a kid learn from trees? Well, you'd be surprised. What grows on trees? What comes out of trees? How tall is the tree? You need to learn your numbers. You need to learn your shapes. You need to learn your colors. You can inject science, the color. How did the tree get its color? And Dominica would be perfect for that. Why are the trees, the colors are so vibrant? You can talk about that, right? The sun, the rain, all these things you can learn from rather than from textbook. Not that textbooks are bad. When you look at what is there, it's so artificial. It's not organic. It's not what you see and go deep down. We do what we call a deep dive. So I think this would be a great study for Dominica, tree study. Then we do something, reduce, reuse, recycle. We see a lot of waste. You can start with that little mind shaping, even at home. We have the little kids here. They know when they come and they use something, they have to figure, is that something that we can reuse or is that something that's going to break down? So just those, that's the difference we want to bring. And I think Dominica is right. And always having a school in Dominica, being from the time I had the vision in the US, I'm like, one day I would love to do this in Dominica. And I've been praying about it. And I was like, yeah, someday. And then my last visit a couple months ago, I was just sitting on my mom's, veranda, looking at just the Caribbean Sea and the horizon. And I'm like, Lord, when I really want to do this, but when? We need the resources. When? And every day I stayed at prayer for 21 days and every day I saw rainbows and double rainbows. And my mom thought I was crazy. He's like, what does that mean? I say, God promised you do this. He will bring the resources. He will send the children. And I was like, we only have 3 months to do this. Is this possible? Yes. It's like, yes, it's possible. And everyone I spoke to about it just energized me. And I was like, wow. Nobody said, oh, this is not a good. Everyone said, oh, we need this. That would be great. And I was like, oh my goodness. Even here, Sarah's like, Mom, you need to focus on here. Forget Dominica. You'll do this later. And I was like, no, I got the sign. I got the vision. We're doing this now. And the excitement, the people I speak to, and they really edge me on. And I was like, oh my God, I got to do this. Let's do this. And why Plaisance? Honestly, we wanted it to be an arm of Bright Start. And I went to them, there were too many brights in Dominic. And I was like, I want us to stand out. And even that I got as a vision. I was like, well, what? I don't want to call it Bright Start Early Care and Education. What it was, and just I do a lot of quiet meditation, and I love Dominica for that. It always brings me that clarity. I used to work Jack's Walk. I live Kinshill, go up Monbruce, come back, Jack's Walk's garden, back to Kinshill. And in the forest, in Jack's Walk, I was like, Lord, you got to just open my mind. And there it comes. I don't even know Plaisance. I mean, I know Plaisance, but I'm not even sure how that name came to me. It's like Plaisance. It's like, yeah, joyful learning, heartfelt learning. Yes, we want to bring joy back into learning. And then I was like, Emmanuel, look what I'm thinking of. And he's like Plaisance in La Plaine. I was like, I'm not sure, but I like the name Plaisance. He said, wait, that's a hamlet in La Plaine. Yes, let's do it. And that really add flow into the fire. When he heard the name of the school, he came on.
Wow, this was Brother Shivers, man. Whoa.
Yeah, he never came on board so fast with a venture like he did when I named the school Plaisance. You know, he was like, oh yeah, we got to do this. Let's do this. Let's do that. And I was like, okay, this is happening. Emmanuel is 10,000% in. We're doing this. So let's go.
Nigel, let's just look at the Facebook quickly. I see 2 sentinels on. There may be more. Tally for Charles, by the way. Lovely Tally for Charles. Good morning to you. Nigel, you're checking Facebook, right?
Yes. Madeline,
I'm just trying to get this.
Very interesting program. David Hector says watching from New Jersey. Of course, Sari and Lana is on. What do you say? Let's see.
I saw Dion Sentinel was on.
I can confidently say my parents were my first greatest teachers. They're committed to educating the next generation of leaders. Plaisance Academy is the real deal. I love you, Mom and Dad. And Sari says, I second this 100%. Dion Sentile says, interesting family story. Good morning. Nice to see you, Dr. Finn from Ashell Sentville. Let's see who else is saying things about here. I pressed the wrong thing.
There's a Wallace Sentile as well.
Yes, a Wallace Sentile is there as well.
This is the Queen continue to cherish her.
On YouTube, someone was asking there, when does this school open, and who will it be catering for in terms of ages? Is it only for people in town? So
let's go there now.
Let's go with the 3 questions. When will this start?
Yes.
Ages, and is it for people in town only?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So Plaisance. So here is what Plaisance is going to be: learning with a difference, right? So we will be offering a lot of project-based activities. Like I said, we're going to use natural resources. We will have, stuff from, more advanced stuff, but we're going to try to inject our local and let us see what we can do with our local resources. So it'll be project-based with a STEAM component to it. So it's science, technology, engineering, arts, and Dominica is rich with that. We really want to inject that, because that's going to be part of our enrichment programs, and mathematics, right? So part of our curriculum is project-based with the STEAM, with enrichment programs such as Creole and Spanish. We're going to have something called yoga. We're going to have Zumbini. Zumbini is really something, it's Zumba for children. And we're going to use maybe fencing. We're going to use a lot of the local activities, soccer. We're going to do that netball. So all these things we're going to bring as enrichment programs.
Take me back to my childhood days. Let me go there.
I want to go back
send me to that school.
Yes. We're going to have the difference going to be with parents. We're going to bring here in the US, we use what we call a parent communication app, where parents can get real time what the children are learning. We'll also have live webcam. They can tune in into their child's classroom and actually see the project the child is working on. The teacher can snap pictures and send it to the parents in real time. So it's a parent engagement app, so parents can communicate with the teachers. The teachers can communicate with the parents. It's going to be really child-led, teacher-facilitated learning, and that's what we do here, and we know that proven process works. So we will do that. It will serve children as young as 1 year old, because we really want that foundation strong, as old as middle school. So what we'll do, we've gotten quite a few interests, and the people that are interested are usually in the 3-4 year range. So what we will do, we'll add a grade every year. So if we have the young ones, as we go every year, we'll have a grade for 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds. So we'll add a grade every year. So as we lay that foundation, we can add those blocks to make it really solid. And hopefully it's so great, we'll go on as far as high school, right?
Excellent.
Yeah,
Ultimately, where the first part of the question is it for people in town alone?
Absolutely not. Dominica is an open oasis for anybody that loves that educational approach for their child. It's for the whole of Dominica and Caribbean, people that are coming, to Dominica. It's for everyone. Let's say it's for everyone.
So Nigel, just to add some more fire here. No, I am from La Plaine and I've never left that. So Plaisance is La Plaine and town. So it's a combination. I told you from the country to country meets town. So there you go. There's the amalgamation right there.
Right there.
Yeah. So
yes.
So
for you on YouTube, I won't call your name, but it's for everybody, okay?
Yes.
Yeah, but that's a good question.
The other part they were asking was in terms of like contacts. Is it let me make sure I go back to it again. Oh, when will it start and how can we contact them?
Yeah, so we are doing an open house. We will have snippets. We're setting up the classroom. We'll start posting. You can go to our Facebook. It's Plaisance Academy. Or that's our Facebook page, Plaisance Academy. We will have an open house for the general public on Monday, September the 1st, and the first term starts on September 8th. So we'll be doing snippets, as we said. Hopefully by next week, we'll start posting pictures of what inside the classroom looks like, and then we'll open up to the general public on the 1st of September.
Yeah, and Nigel, I think, and maybe Ivan can speak to that as well. We want to create a partnership with with you guys, with the radio station. So certainly in the conversation Ivan and I had about half an hour yesterday, I think, Ivan, you want to speak to that?
Yes, you mean with connecting the dots, right?
Yeah, and and you as program manager.
Oh yes, the possibilities are endless. There are a lot of things that we can do. In fact, we're already working on this. There's a James Rodney you would have contacted as well, and we're looking at doing a lot of things through connecting the dots. But there are other programs as well, even on DBS Radio, that we can have this discussion on. So we can incorporate Plaisance Academy into a lot of what we do as well on radio. And so let's go with it. As I said, the prospects are bright as far as collaboration, cooperation is concerned. And I know Nigel has his own ideas as well. So we'll bounce ideas and we'll make things happen.
Oh, we'll definitely make it happen.
We'll make a lot happen,
and expand it. I see the kids having a session on connecting the dots one Saturday. Actually have a session at the school with the kids on connecting the dots. It's a special connecting the dots.
It may just open a new avenue for us to do things, other things, so incorporate other things into the program.
It's kids connecting, whatever we want to call it on that Saturday along with Plaisance Academy. So it's just ideas flowing through.
This is interesting. More to come, I suppose, right?
Yes.
So I have to take that opportunity here, if you allow me to say, you guys, I don't know how long the program has been running, connecting the dots, but you guys are moving things. You guys are causing waves here, and you may not know it, and I don't know if you get the necessary feedback, but from time to time I do connect to connecting the dots, and not every Saturday because sometimes I work. But you guys are really, your program is a program where everybody can identify with. You guys really hit it down the middle. This is Dominica. This is what folks are doing in New York, in Dominica, in Plaisance, in La Plaine, in wherever, in Newtown, and you guys are connecting the dots, and I want you guys to know that, and I think we'd like to create that partnership because it's really about Dominica. It's really about sustainability. It's really about moving our country forward, and I think we can as we continue, because the program we have here is quite successful. I mean, obviously, it took a while to get to that point. But it's quite successful, and I wouldn't even begin. That's another program that I will contact us about. But what we've done behind the scenes in terms of Chrissy testifying at the U.S. Senate about childhood and childhood education, and testifying before the City Council, and me writing articles in the Washington Post. We've done a lot of things behind the scenes to push the policy piece, and this is what. In a roundabout way, that's what connecting the dots is all about. It's really the policy and the processes and I wouldn't call the other P name. We'll leave it out. We'll leave it out. But
I know that, Emmanuel. I just wanted to add, as you said, connecting the dots. The location for Plaisance Academy is going to be at 27 Independence Street. And maybe Ivona and Nigel, that used to be Miss Winston's school, if you remember.
Yes.
Okay,
That's
the school I went to. So
you went to it?
That's your Period of
Okay.
Fashions was as well.
Yes.
Period of Fashions was located.
Yes.
Period of Fashions is right
And,
there.
yes.
Period of Fashions used to be, right?
Right.
It's Eric's Bakery or whatever.
Right,
Right.
Eric's Bakery. That's what I was thinking of. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
This place has history, man.
Someone was actually asking that. Where's it going to be located?
Yes. This place
And
has
then
history.
they were also asking you, because I'm trying to get through the questions and people asking. They were also asking, do you have students already enrolled? What's the cost of it per term? And are the teachers going to be local Dominicans, or are you bringing in your U.S. teachers?
Okay, so very good
Just
question.
asking all the questions they asked.
Yes,
She may not want
good.
to
So first,
talk about the cost, but go ahead.
Yeah, so let's think about, we're trying to bring this to Dominica. So we're going to use local talent because, believe it or not, we have a lot of great resources on the island. So we will have our local teachers doing that, and we'll have our US training them on how to implement the program. So the educators will be local teachers with our US training teachers doing that. Yes, so local people will be employed. So far we have about 3 students that have enrolled. The cost is going to be a monthly cost. And I don't know if I should say, I don't want to try to
you can live the cost. Oh.
You can live that. They can contact you. They can
contact us at plaisanceacademy@gmail.com.
Is there a phone number they can also use to call you?
The phone number is 767-235-2135.
767-235-2135. Or you can also contact you, email plaisanceacademy@gmail.com. Okay, wonderful. And can anybody, if someone wanted on Monday to go to the school so they can talk with someone, is there somebody there?
Yes, there's someone on site. There's someone on site right now. Like I said, they're setting up the classroom, and we're able to welcome people into the room not until this August, that third week in August, the 22nd, the week of the 22nd, we can start showing it, because we have to make sure, because if you come into a program and it's not put together, it doesn't give you good vibes. Right. So that's why we're making sure we're going to set it the way that is, so it can be first impression, right? So once you see, you say, okay, I get it. So we are taking emails at plaisanceacademy@gmail.com, and we can answer your questions, and we'll have an open house. And we'll have one in September when the school is together. They'll have an opportunity to see the technology, the parent engagement app we'll be using, the live cam, how they will be seeing their child learning in the classroom, and the environment, the playground on site. I think one of the things that's a great plus is we're going to have a playground on site. Okay. And we're using where the building is, it's not huge, but it's enough so the children can go out and get fresh air. And the playground is at what we call an outdoor classroom. So it will be a learning experience. The client doesn't only learn indoors, they'll be learning outdoors. And I think this is so great, because we have a beautiful place and country, and we wanted to capture the beauty and what we have that we've been blessed with and turn it into gold, because this is what is going to help our children see the possibilities are endless. Because we lose sight, we always think that money is good, but use what you have to make the money. The money, you don't expect to have the money and think you got it all. No, you got to use the resources to help you make the money. And that's what we're going to help to cultivate on the island in our youth and our young children.
Nigel, I'm excited about this. I really, I want to visit there myself, Nigel, and I'll talk to you about it. Oh, wonderful,
in
fact, we have to discuss what we can do. So
yes. I'm on board.
We're excited about that partnership as well, Ivonia and Nigel, because I think it's connecting the dots. And as you know, you guys have been at it for a while. at this program for a while, every Saturday, without fail. And so it might just be an opportunity for, let's say, what's the next step. And when you deal with kids and it's about sustainability is about education, I think everybody will come on board no matter wherever they are, in terms of their lives, So the goal here is really providing biochemists, engineers, lawyers, astronauts and such. This is the end goal here, right? This is the end goal here. And Nigel, living in North America for some time, you can go back, and you've said that a few times on this program, how much the early education in Dominica propelled you. And the interesting thing that we didn't really realize that until we moved to North America. So I don't know, you can speak to that a little bit real quick.
Yeah, oh no, definitely. I mean, that foundation that we get in Dominica and how that prepares us. But again, we haven't realized it, or we didn't realize it until later on, when we recognize what's here and what we actually, how it helped us to get where we are today. So, I mean, that is something we definitely want to continue.
That's a resounding theme, Nigel, as well. A resounding theme from a lot of guests.
That from quite
we have guests who reside overseas in particular. So,
Earlier on, very quickly though, earlier on, we were talking with, with Sam and with Celia, who's having the Write-Tukubuli literary virtual festival, and talking about writing and creative writing. And I asked them about having writing in the schools, early childhood. Is that something that Plaisance Academy and Bright
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're going to really partner with local, letting children learn how to play the steel pan, having children how to do drama, creative writing. Absolutely. That's what we want. Like I said, we want to use the resources that we take for granted and really unleash it so the kids can see that not everybody has to go across the pond to make it happen. Let us use what we have and make it happen.
And some of the books that they'll be reading is going to be from local Dominican authors.
Absolutely, it's going to be.
Right. See, I'm trying to push my Dominican authors.
we want to take. It's going to be It's going to be a mixture of U.S. and Dominican education.
Nice.
So we can see, because we had the opportunity to get an early childhood program in Dominica that laid the foundation, and to come here. So we think like, wow, we had the best of both worlds. How can we give it to our children who do not have that opportunity, right? Who can use that right where they are. I just wanted to add, part of Plaisance also what we'll be offering, we're going to offer holiday and night care. Our service is going to be unconventional. It's going to be year-round. We don't take off for Christmas and Easter and all. We are a year-round school. We go to school from January to December. Of course, we observe the religious holidays, but we don't have 2 weeks break. The children are in school learning and doing things. The parents can choose to take the time off, but we have a year-round school. We'll also be having night care when there are activities, Creole Festival or Carnival or Wet Fest or whatever the case may be. We'll be providing service from 6 p.m. all the way to 10 o'clock the next day. So parents can go have a good time and bring their child for care, and they'll be well taken care of. So we're going to, it's almost a 24-hour service. Most of this will be at peak time when parents want to go out and they're worried about who's going to look after my child. Well, auntie, cousin, everybody wants to go to the party. So nobody has to be left out. Plaisance will take care of it. You go have your single and we will have your child have a good time. We call it Plaisance pajama party nights.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So lots of parents can feel a little bit more relaxed now. Yes.
And the good thing, they can tune in to see if they're worried about, what's going on with my child. They can look at the webcam. It has nighttime vision, so they can see what's going on with their child. If they're like, I don't know these people, I'm leaving my child, what's going on? No, you have, and it's a good thing for us being, if we're away, we can tune in into the program and see what's going on at any time.
Yes. Christy, you're all excited, you're all energetic, you're all ready to go, you have this drive. But are there times when you sit back and say, boy, you think I'm doing the right thing?
Oh, man, it's funny you said that, because I've had this high since I was in Dominica 4 weeks ago. And I got here and I was like, Lord, this is crazy. When is it going to hit me? And my sister she's like, girl, you're doing too much. You got to calm down. And then I stopped and I was like, what am I doing? I was like, all of a sudden, I was like, why did they tell me that? I stopped and I was like, you know what? yeah, I'm doing a lot, but I feel so energized. And she's like, this is a lot of resources. I was like, the resources, the Lord is going to, I have a strong faith. I have to say, building this business on a lot of faith, because since COVID, I mean, it has really turned business upside down, right? And just having, we build this, I'm like, we're doing this to impact the lives of children. And I think when you have a why are we doing this? I always say, if I wanted money, it's not childcare you'll do. People say, well, it has money. No, you're changing the lives, you're impacting the lives of future leaders. Yes, you make money, you're not going to make enough money to buy you a jet plane, right? But enough to help you continue to impact the lives of children. And every time I sit back and I say, why am I doing this? My why is to embrace every child, meet them where they are, and unleash that potential in them. To give them that lifelong of learning. That's what drives me. That's my why. And at the end of the day, when you have to sit back and you look at, I always tell people, numbers don't lie. When you look back at the numbers and the cost of running the program, and I was like, 1-on-1 is 2. And my accountant said, Marcia, 1-on-1 is 2. It's not 11. I was like, you know what? It adds up to 11, so I'm going to do this, you know? And the 11 is the number of children that you're transforming their lives. We have kids come to us, they cannot talk. They cannot sit still. And they're in the program for 3 years. And by the time they leave the program, that child can now sit down. That child can now articulate. That's enough to keep you going, because what you're doing is changing lives. So that's my why. That's what gives me the excitement, because I just love to see nothing turns into a lot.
Nigel, let me tell you something. I'm so pleased about this initiative. We have to end though, but what we can do though, yes. Nigel, we'll talk about it after. Nigel, you and I will discuss it. So we can have them on again soon. We can have them on again soon.
Yes,
the school opens on the
sometime before the opening.
Yes. So we can have them on again. But I love this.
We will.
The prospects are bright.
And we'll have the connection and talk some more about it and the whole partnership, you know.
I love the discussion, Nigel. I mean, Chrissy, she speaks with this, joie de vivre, like, type of thing. She's just so bubbly, and exciting about this venture that she's on.
Don't forget,
I really am excited.
Chrissy comes from a Royal, mayor and everything else, and business and everything else. So it runs in the family. So Dawn, good morning, good afternoon to you. I know she was saying earlier on, proud of you, my sister. So good afternoon. Is it afternoon? Good morning to you, wherever you are still. Yes. So that's your why, Emmanuel. I know your why because you have to support her. But apart from that, I mean, there must be another why for you as well.
Well, for me, obviously, I fully embrace, Chrissy, and Nigel. You know who talks more at home, right?
Yes, that's known.
Yeah, I don't have to tell you, because she comes with a ton of passion, a ton of load. Something I'm like, okay, can you just cool on for 1 minute, please? Let me get in. Okay, I hear you. Or can we talk about that tomorrow? But the why is really, I fully embrace, because obviously, without education, I wouldn't be here. And I talked about Miss Roberts, and I'll send you guys the article I wrote about Miss Roberts. She taught her children, her students, to read, write, and to speak properly, and obviously because of her. And I also, because of I'm a dentist today because of Dr. Williams. Dr. Williams come from La Plaine, and when I was in high school, I hung out with him in his office. And because he was from La Plaine, when he came to La Plaine, we played football together. And so role modeling is so critical in our society. It is so critical. You can give me a ton of money, Nigel. If there's no role model, then forget it. After I spend the money, I forget all about you. And so the role modeling piece, because obviously I live in that life every day. And plus, we've gone through that with our children. Alana is doing neuroscience. Who knows? I mean, so we want to extend that because it has happened to us. We're kids from the belly of Dominica who have achieved some measure of success, right? Through hard work, but because of the foundation that we got. And so, this is what it is. Anybody who knows Anna Centilla knows she worked hard. Anybody knows folks from Lapin, they work hard. So we want to transform that. And so this is what it's all about. But Nigel, before we go, and I know we're out of time here. We passed time here. I want to say real quick, congratulations to the Lapin folks. Marcia in St. Croix, Elwin, Talifa, Dex, Newton, Nadia in New Orleans for putting on a wonderful,
Yes.
wonderful,
That vacation,
wonderful
really
operation.
vacationed. It was vacationing.
Yes.
As we see in local
Yes,
terms.
you guys.
Yeah.
You guys, all the way from Plaisance to Felicite to Valizier, everywhere. And also, I want to wish the folks from Castle Bruce well. You know, I'm a Castle Bruce man too. My dad hailed from the Red Dirt of Jalousie. So, Jasso, Lauren, Tony, I wish you guys well. So, I think I want to end on that.
Yes. Thanks so much for joining, for connecting. Continued success and blessings. We will connect again. And we hope everyone can connect with Plaisance Academy and get it going.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. All the best.
All the best to you.
Thank you, Nigel. Thank you, Ivana.
Take care.
We will keep the lines of communication going.
We definitely will.
Sure.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Yes.
Nigel, we'll do it again. We'll do it again next week.
Yes, we do it again.
God
We'll do it
willing.
again next week, my dear. As always, we connect. All the best.
All the best to you.
Okay, good. Take care.
All right. That's it. Join us again next week, Saturday. To all of you on the live, all of you who followed, we thank you so much. Our family. Take care.
Get unlimited data all summer long. Yes. Unlimited. Stay connected on social media. Family and friends